Hi, my name is Smith, and I want to share with you which is my way in how I attack a new problem. In this case, I will use a web page called Leetcode. There are several word page that try to get some programming algorithm programming contests in order to get some improve your skills. Hacker rank is one of them. This is another one, lead code, that's I found this very interesting. So you have to register here, just for your Gmail, Facebook, any what account that you want. Basically, you have several problems and you have to solve. So in this kind of problems is something called like competitive algorithm or something like that. Is format several challenge questions and there is a lot of information here. Also, you can find you can enhance your skill very well because there's a lot of things. From my opinion, that's a balance. You because several problems are very similar between them, so you can be contaminated in very way in a good way in order to solve one problem or another. So I just want to show you how I solve one problem, which is my approach to solve one problem in order to get that be useful for anyone else. So let me select the first problem that is an easy one. You can see here the difficulty of the problem, the acceptance rate, that is how many people get this um, problem accepted. And you can see here, let me, here, problem contest, explore, no, just here, into zooms, and how's the way it's presented here. This is the first problem. Okay, you can see here which are my submissions, any submission yet. A discussion forum that's people ask about something that don't understand here. And when part some of the problem, not everyone have something called solution. It's okay, let me ignore this because I will blend my solution here. So you can select which is your programming language to work or to solve the problem. In that case, let me select C++ because I like it, and let me read the problem. Given an array of integers, return the indices of the two numbers such that they add up the specific target. So I can see that I have something called target, or the target that I have to reach, and just the indices. That you can notice that is in bold letters because it's very important here. You may assume that each input will have exactly one solution. You may not use the same element twice. So the very interesting fact here, and you have to read all the problems one, two, three times that it will be necessary in order to understand. For example, here, given nums 2, 7, 11, 15, target 9. So according to the problem, I have to get the indices of the array to get the target 9. In that case, to sum two values will be 2 and 7, but I need to return the indices, so it's 0 and 1. So my return is 0 and 1. That's a vector of value. That's my expected output. That's very nice. That sounds very easy to do. So you can see some hints. Well, this is the first problem. I assume that not all the problems are with hints and with solution, because several problems are, for instance, for companies or for universities in order to get some grade for the students, or just for fun in some competition of the ACM of another Spock, I don't know, and another kind of competition, and use these problems, and not all of them have the solution here. So let me show how I attack this problem, how I think the solution of the problem.
Okay, first let me recap the input of the problem. In that case, it's an array of integer called nums with the value 2, 7, 11, and 15, and a target with the value of 9. I have to find the two values, or the two positions where the values are stored. In that case, that sum 9, in this case 0 and 1, because 0 and 1 are the position inside the array. Great. The first approach here is to use a brute force algorithms that time complexity is something like n squared, so I don't like it. I prefer a less time complexity here. So for that, I will use an structure called map, where I can get an complexity of n, so it's less than n squared, so it's better. With the map, I will store the value and the position as a pair called key and value. That's the key of the core of definition of that structure. In my map, I will store then the key as the value itself of the array, and the value will be the position here. So I will have something like key value, where the key will be 2, 7, 11, and 15, and the value 0, 1, 2, and 3. That will be my final result since I have everything. So why I have to do this? Because this I can represent this problem like a function. Which will be the function? Something like I need to get the target equal the sum of two values, nums sub I, nums sub j. That's my target function that I need to get here. So also I can rearrange this in order to get in my algorithm in something like nums j, like target minus nums I. So that's my objective function. So I have the target all the time. The nums I will be my iteration loop, in this case looping here, and the nums j will be the value stored in my map structure, because I have all the values here. It's like iterating twice if you want to see in that way, but I get the result all the time in order to get this value. I perform this operation and get if this value is contains here. If not contains, then I store this value inside my map. Otherwise, I found the solution, because the problem said that I can only one unique part of index's position for the expected output. So then I have a for loop to, let me call this index equals 0 to n, where n is the size of the input array. That's for one side. For the other side, I have my structure key value. Let me call this map m, my key value, and the beginning is empty. I will store of the value eventually here. Then I will execute my for. This is all inside the for. Get my objective function will be something like value equals to target minus nums in the index position. Index, that is index position. So I get this. That's my objective function. This is my iteration through the loop, and this is my target that I know that is 9. So in the first case, let me write over here, I have my index, I have the value. This is like trace of this algorithm, very easy. So the index is 0, and the value should be 9 minus nums in the I position is 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. I will check if the 7 value is contained inside my map. In that case, if value is in m, that's very pseudocode form. If that condition is true, then I found the solution, because I have the console the value here, and the nums the index position here, and I have the resolution. In this case, it's empty. It will be works. It will be met by the else, because there is empty. Nothing is in m. m is empty, so I need to get the else value. In the else, what I have to do, just store my combination key value. I will store then in m, I don't know, add, no, something very popular here is using in this way, m with the key will be the value itself, nums, in the index position, store the position with its index. In this case, I store the 2, like the key, and the value, the position 0. So I have some value here on my map. Great. The next iteration is 1 with the next index position. I perform the same function here, target minus, in this case, with is stored in the position index 9 minus 7. 9 minus 7 is 2. The value now is 2. 2 is on my map. In this case, yes, it's on my map. Oh, great. Which is, so in this case, m, well, same, let me write something like m in the position value is one of my indexes for my problem, right? In this case will be 0, and the other one will be index, and I return this. So I found I have a one with unique solution. In this case it will be the m value, that is 0, and the index it will be 1. So that's my output, expected output. Okay, that's simple. The sample that is placed there in the page with all the time works. Well, all the time when we are developing this kind of algorithms or competitive algorithms, all the time the sample input always works, and your goal is to try to find different kind of input in order to get the same result and to get some bug in your code. So let me try another input, another valid input. Actually, let me do something like nums, maybe -3, 4, 3, 90, something like this, and my target would be 0. That's a valid value, and the output here, the expected output here, will be 0 and 2, because -3 plus 3 is equal to 0. That's very great. So then let me start my trace from index and the value computed. Remember that value is computed of target minus nums in the index position. And for your other side, I have my map. My map will be key and value. At the beginning, all the time will be empty here. So great, let me start my iteration loop from here to here, starting 0, and which will be the value. Target is 0 minus -3. In that case, the value is 3 plus 3. I store then the value is stored here, -3, with the position 0. Great, the value is plus 3 here. Then we continue. Let me write here, it's more easy instead of everything here. Okay, the next index is 1. 1 will be 0 minus 1. 0 minus 1 is -1. Then I store the next position here. Key will be 4 in the position 1. Great. Position 2. Position 2 will be 0 minus 3. 0 minus 3 is -3. So -3 is stored in my map in the position 0. So I found the solution because the result here are the equals value. So 0 minus 3 is equal minus 3. This minus 3 is stored here. That's important. That's a way to use this map in my algorithm. So the result here will be my index in this position in my iteration. Also, I have to break the 4 here. I have the index that is getting from my map, in this case 0. So my result will be in my current index, that is 2, and my value here is 0. So that's a very not so perfect explanation, but I will try if you understand this. So let me try this on the computer.
Once I have the solution in my mind of the solution I have to solve this with which I wrote in the paper, so I proceed to code. Well, when you gain experience, you directly can code this and in without writing some paper, but it's very useful in order to get some bugs. That's more important here. Okay, I select here the C++, this is my solution with I need some compiler. So you can use this and compile the solution here and run your code here, but I don't like it. I prefer to do something like that. Well, the error here because there is a class with a function inside that requires this as the output. So if I create something, I don't know, something like this, maybe it will work without any error. That's the way how it works. You only need to develop this. But if you want to test this, you need some main function or something that call this with this input. So let me do this. I prefer this page all the time because I like it. Using C++ is not a way in order to not install something on my computer. Let me copy this here and it will be my compiler. Great. In several competitions, in several contests of programming, you can use, at least in C++, use this package called bits, std C++, uh, this is a kind of package that contains several libraries and you don't need to import each one. Well, in practice, I mean in real life, that's not very useful because there is a lot of payload that you need to get with your code. In this case, I think that is very, well, very nice because that's okay. Okay, I need a main function. Yeah, because yes, I need a main. Let me see if I can do a simple main with an instance of this object. Let me call this S and S to zoom with two vectors. Let me define two vectors here. Let me define the same input that I get in the description of the problem. In that case, I don't remember the numbers. Okay, 275. No, two. This one. Great, and the target be 9. 9? Yes, 9. And pass those values here. Also, the results will be something like result. Result is called this auto, and let me test this. It should works perfectly because okay, sometimes this doesn't work. Okay, there's a lot of error. This I don't remember. Let me do this in the old way and forget this. Not all compilers support that. So, well, namespace std, and it will very nice. That's compile. Do nothing but compile. Great. So let me start. Oh, let me print without the result here. I just catching but not printing. So printing, let me use okay, maybe the for each. that's here in C++. That is an algorithm and use for each, and for each it will be resolved to the begin and the end. That's another way to do the classic for from E to end value. And the function is the printing function. In that case, let me use a lambda function. Maybe this one. The lambda is an integer. Well, it's a constant because it's the sum, is the value x, and here print the x. It's just to verify my results. That's it. It's nothing more than this. Oh, I need to import that IO stream to the output. I need to, everything is prepared. Let me check, just to check that just my output works. Let me create an fake result with the values, I don't know, 7 11, and it should be the output in that way to know that everything is working fine. Say 7 8, great, so it works. Just I need to develop this. So I wrote all this just in that case, but several times you have, when you are working a competition problem, or we are to, in order to uh, get more time, you write this at the beginning. If you're an interview or something that to get a job, then mainly this is not necessary. You only need how to we call the function and how to expect the result, and that's it. Maybe you don't need more than that, because the idea of the key of the is this one, is only the important one here. So great, as I mentioned that I will be develop a map and my function. So let me start with the map. The map here is a map, it's a data structure map. Let me import my map. There are several maps in different programming languages. In Java, Python, you have different kind of using the map. Okay, let me call this result because I don't like the short names. Results, and my map should be two values. My key is an integer, that's my value inside my array, and the another value is the position. Let me call this correspondence because it's the correspondence between one thing and another thing. And just start the for in index equal to 0, index minus the vector. In that case, my vector is my input size, and index plus plus. Great. With I have two options here. First, I have to compute my objective function. My objective function is an integer called value that is my target minus the position of my vector is nums in the position index. So I have to find if that value is contained inside my map. So if correspondence is fine, that's a way to how to find a value, is allocate a value inside the my map. Corresponding find the value is different than correspondence dot end. That's, I mean, if exists or not. If exists, I have the solution here. Let me do the solution at the end. Else, I have the store my this value as a key on my map. So I have my correspondence, and this will be my key, and my value will be the position. Great. Okay, if I find the solution, that's I have to return this one, the result. Then let me store the result. Let me delete the comments, that not necessary because it's very short code. Let me store well, pushback. Oh, that. Let me push back my correspondence in value position, because this is the result of my operation. This is a key on my map, so I will I have to consult the position that is stored as a value of my key. That's very confusing about the name key value, but that's the idea. And when you find about the mapping hatching structures, you will encounter these names very common as key value. Key value, this is a pair. Also in databases, also is very common in NoSQL databases. You find this. I use this because it's more easy for me, but you can use any variable name that you consider necessary or more efficient for you. Okay, push back this value. That is my first index, and the second index is this one. Is just the index itself in this. And the problem finish. Well, okay. The problem said that there is only one unique. Oh, you all the time will find. Let me check. Let me find. Okay, you have exactly one solution. So in that case, this condition always will be true. Always will be true. So I can use something like this. Declare my result here and return my result here. I don't need to return here because all the time I will be one solution. I mean all the time this if condition will be true. So let me try my input. The output will be 0 and 1. Oh, I have a warning. Maybe is my warning? Okay. Okay, no, I mess it up. I have problem with this. Okay, in your case, it would be nice if you use an condition 23. Oh, the warning is because I didn't return anything. Okay. Maybe some. Oh, maybe something like this would be nice here because I need to return something. So to avoid the warning, that doesn't matter actually, but it's just for cleaning your code. Great. The output is that one. That's the expected one. Let me try with another input. Here you try different inputs in order to know what happened. For instance, if you only all the time have to assure one solution. 1 minus 1 and the target is 0. The outputs could be 0 and 1. The same but with another value, 8, 8, 7, I don't know, something like that. It will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 or 7, the position inside the 7, the position 7. Okay, with the array that we try in the paper, minus 3, 4, plus 3 or 3, that is the same if I wrote here in C++, and the output will be 0 and 2, which are the position where are minus 3, 3 with the target 0. What happened here? Okay. Okay, hope that all the time I have internet because it's not really very. Okay, what happened? Okay, that's reacting. Your program is already running. Please stop first. Okay. Well, don't worry. Wrong again. That something happened because I. Oh, let me wrong, please. Okay, 0 and 2. That's very nice. So come back here to the Leetcode page. Oh, what happened? No, to my Leetcode page. So I only need this part. I don't need the main part. So I copy all this to my code and expect it to run. Oh, I have one wrong answer. Actually, if I it's not a submission. No, it's not a submission yet. It's just my result, my wrong. If I run my code, it will be Joshin accepted for this input. For this input, the output, my output is this one, and the expected output is this one, is the same. I can check actually the difference in some cases with you work with stream, something like that. You have done test cases and you can write here the same test cases that I, I mentioned in order to get. Actually, in this case, I don't know which will be the output because the input is incorrect. If you see this, the input is totally incorrect because there is no combination of numbers that the target or that they reach the target and doesn't complain the instructions of the exactly doesn't exist of unique. Great. Let me submit this. When I submit, I hope that there it is fine here. Okay, accepted. It means that's very nice and show the runtime of here, the memory that you consume, the programming language. Um, okay, that okay. My solution was faster than 65% of all submission, the memory usage, and great. I have my first problem here in Leetcode. This is submission details. Well, this is all details. You can see more statistic about that, but maybe I am totally sure that there's very another or different efficient ways to solve this. Well, after you have your first problem here in Leetcode, you can do another one and select anyone that you want. Actually, you can select something, for instance, if you want something related with, I don't know, string, maybe all the problem with that related with string, something like, I don't know, let me searching, maybe, already on searching, or you want to improve your skills, I don't know, in dynamic programming, maybe you can find something with the dynamic programming, uh, and so on. You can uh, find more find more problem in here, and you actually at the end of here it show me which is my next challenge. I mean, which is my next problems to solve in order to improve my skills progressively, not to get to the hardest one directly, but it's up to you independently. What do you want? Okay, that's my okay, great. So I think that I show you how I solve my problems. I think how's the way I write in the paper all the time. Write the paper the whole way. You can use your computer. You can use. Sometimes I use Excel because I need Excel and Notepad, something like that. And well, that's it. Very nice. I hope that you like it. And if you if you like the video, please subscribe and like it and share all the things that people do here in YouTube. Thank you.